Hello and welcome to this corporate interaction with the management of the upcoming IPO bound Nephro Care India Limited. I am Navin Tekwani, President Corporate Capital Ventures. Along with me, I have Director Corporate Capital Ventures, Mr. Kulbhushan Prashar, and Dr. Pratim Sen Gupta himself, who's a renowned nephrologist, transplant specialist, and a first generation entrepreneur. Along with him, we have his CFO, Tapas Saha, who's going to speak about the business model and the upcoming details of the IPO. Corporate Capital Ventures is a SEBI registered category 1 merchant banker. We are not registered with the SEBI as investment advisors or portfolio managers. We are lead managers, category 1 merchant bankers. So all investment enthusiasts, all the investors seeking information on the business model are advised to take their business investment advisement calls prudently. Let me welcome Kulbhushan Prashar, and who would like to introduce about the company, and Dr. Pratim himself.
So let me welcome and introduce Dr. Pratim Sen Gupta here. He is the founder director of Nephro Care India Limited. He is a MD and DM nephrology by profession. He has been an accomplished nephrologist and a renal transplant physician of the country. He is researcher in the field of nephrology and basic sciences. He is the president of Kidney Care Society of India. He has done more than 1,000 kidney transplants till date, and he has touched almost 20,000 patients who are ill with the kidney diseases. He has researched and published more than 50 publications in national and international peer-reviewed journals. He is a member of editorial board of journal which is known as Nephro. He has also been awarded with the Geeta Mukhopadhyay Das Memorial Award of Calcutta University. He has also been awarded with Best Case Report Award of JAPI 2015 and the Bharat Jyoti Award of year 2019. He has been pioneered in AI-based digital decision-making portal in clinical nephrology. He is founder member of Society Renal Nutrition and life member of ISN ERA EDTA TDS. So welcome Dr. Pratim Sen Gupta and Mr. Tapas. Welcome to this interaction. Now, believe that the audience of this video, the viewers of this video, doesn't know much about clinical medical terminology. So make it as easy as possible. I would like to understand what is the problem size of this chronic kidney diseases in India. What is the ecosystem? How equipped are we in India as far as this healthcare is concerned?
Okay. Thank you, KP, for putting this question. This is one of the very pertinent questions. I think whoever is a viewer, he must be a human being and he must have all the organs. So kidney is one of the very, very important organ in our body. It does all the functions of clearing all the toxins in the body. Now, if you look at this country, the India, the total burden of the kidney disease is a maximum in terms of the prevalence. Prevalence means in one point of time, if we calculate how many patients are there, the India has the highest number of the kidney patients in the world. This is as per the WHO data. If you add all the kidney patients across the world and the kidney patient of the India, and you put in a bar chart, you will see the Indian bird is taller than the total cumulative birds of the world. This is the problem. Now, in terms of number, if we come to the kidney problems in this country, each year we are adding 2,20,000 new end-stage kidney disease patients. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand what is end-stage kidney disease. Once kidney disease starts, it progresses over 10 to 15 years, then lands in the end-stage kidney disease where they need dialysis, they need transplants. So when we tell the number about 2,20,000, it is a tip of the iceberg. There are millions which are either underdiagnosed or in the early stage which has no symptom, because this is an asymptomatic kidney disease. This is the biggest challenge of dealing with the kidney disease in this country. Why this is so? Because we are diabetic capital of the world. Diabetic capital world means India caters the largest number of the diabetic patients in the world. By this year, as the time passes on, we are reaching to the 82 million diabetic patients, and 30% of the diabetics ultimately lands in the kidney problem. There are some national statistics which are really alarming. This India has a 14 to 15% people who are suffering from diabetes. Now think about a country which have a 1.4 billion population. If this much of number of patients having diabetes and 30% of them land in the kidney problem, you can imagine what is the size. Similarly, the next important cause of the kidney disease is the hypertension. In this country, we have 22% patients who are suffering from hypertension. And roughly 10 to 15% of the all hypertensive eventually lands in the kidney problem. So this is the challenge. Henceforth, kidney disease is the biggest problem, and this country needs 34 million of the dialysis treatment annually, which we can serve. We have hardly 5,000 dialysis centers. We hardly serve a very meager amount of patients who don't have access to the dialysis. So this is the problem. The market size is big, the need is huge, but we don't have adequate facility, adequate experts. Only 3,000 nephrologists are there in this country to handle crores of patients who are suffering from kidney problem. So there is the challenge. And here NephroCare comes to bridge the gap.
So how many dialysis centers are required for treating these kind of numbers which you have just told?
So if you think about this, government is planning to set up 66,000 dialysis centers where we have only 5,000. So there is a 10 times more escalation is needed to at least cater some of the dialysis patient, because we are in the national dialysis program. The government has understood the need. They are planning to set up one dialysis unit in each district of the country. So the demand is huge, and we have a tremendous gap between what is needed and what we already have. So we need to work in this line together.
So just for the viewers, if you have understood the disease well, it's kind of disease which is the symptoms are not visible in the first phase of development of the disease, and this is chronic. Chronic means once any patient gets this disease, it is not curable, or the patient has to live with this disease for a longer period of time. Dialysis is required very frequently for any kidney patient, and this gives, so what kind of numbers Dr. Saab has just said, those numbers are huge, and those patients need regular, frequent dialysis. So that makes this problem even bigger.
Yeah, let me figure out to give the entire paradigm, because we are dealing with the patient day in, day out. So somebody who has a kidney problem, he needs a constant monitoring by a nephrologist till the stage when he demands, or he reaches the end-stage kidney disease, where without dialysis he can't survive. So starting from the very early stage of the disease till he lands to the end-stage kidney problem, where the dialysis support is needed, the entire gamut and entire journey needs the supervision of the doctors, and when he comes to an end-stage kidney disease, he needs a constant support by 2 or 3 dialysis in a week for the rest of his life. So that is a problem, that is the challenge of the patients. So we need a very well-equipped infrastructure to provide the continuous support pre-dialysis and during dialysis while the patients are progressing through their journey.
So which is where Nephro Care India Limited comes in, and I would like to know for our audience how we started, what has been the journey so far, and what milestones have we covered till date?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, because when I started practice around 10 and 15 years ago, the nephrology was a new discipline. Nobody used to know what is nephrology. People have awareness regarding heart, they have awareness regarding neurology, that is brain, strokes and all this stuff. Nobody has any idea what is kidney disease. And believe me, it took me to 5 to 10 years to establish that this is a separate discipline which deals with such a big problem and such epidemic. Today, with our constant effort, today people are becoming aware. Now, when I started my nephrology practice at that time, the problem was patient used to come to a nephrologist when they needed dialysis only. At the end stage, they are cornered in the world. They have no other way to survive without dialysis. But with a constant effort of education, we have started a complete renal care program. It is not simply the dialysis care program. Please try to understand NephroCare, what it is providing. It is not simply the dialysis. It is providing dialysis along with the entire ecosystem, the entire journey we are holding hand of a patient who is suffering from kidney problem. So here is the uniqueness of the model which we started or which we established. The purpose was, Our goal was to protect somebody not to reach to the dialysis, and also to support those unfortunate guys, which number is big, as I tell, 2.2 lakhs people are adding to the dialysis inventory each year. So we need to support them, and also those unfortunate guys, because of the diabetes, hypertension, were developing kidney disease silently without knowing, we are supporting them also. So our basket is very big. We are supporting one end, those who are underdiagnosed or those who are early stage of kidney disease. We are helping them to return the need of dialysis. Eventually, if they lands in the dialysis, we have the entire advanced support to support or add years to their life. That is a model which we established by not only providing medical care, providing nutritional care, providing advanced diagnostic support, providing nutritional care, providing yoga as a lifestyle wellness, and adding new technologies, new strategies for monitoring to make their life much more productive, happy, and we are adding years to the somebody's life. That's the model we do.
So this entire effort, the gigantic effort that we are running, can you please tell me a bit about the infrastructure that we have at Nephro Care India Limited?
Oh, yes.
How big is the team? Who are all involved?
We started with a flagship clinic in Salt Lake, Kolkata. We started with a very small team initially with the 40 people. Right now we are going bigger and bigger. Right now we are 110 professionals who are working together. We started with 12 dialysis machines initially. Now we added on another satellite centers around 50 to 70 kilometers away from Kolkata. And we are hoping to come up with new satellite centers across the eastern part of the India and also the Odisha and Mumbai. And the most interesting, for which we are all thrilling about, we are coming up with a 100-bedded facility where the inpatient care, that means the transplant surgery, all the critical ailments which evolved because of the renal failure, that could be addressed. And so it completes the entire bracket of the care. That's what we are doing very soon.
So when you have said that this chronic kidney disease is very big in number, what kind of regulatory policy framework is there? What are the initiatives which government has taken? Have they acknowledged that this is a problem which is evolving so fast?
Yes, the Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program, government has understood how serious this problem is, how big the healthcare challenge this is. They have taken a huge mission to set up the dialysis centers across the country in each district, so that the patients who are staying even in the rural part, they have access to the dialysis. So this has been identified by the government because it is a big problem, challenging problem, and government is trying slowly to help the people to address these issues.
Okay. And you said that only dialysis is not a solution. It is a complete ecosystem which need to be developed for treating the patient who are suffering with the kidney diseases. What kind of holistic approach you have taken, and what is the Mukti program which you are running? Please elaborate.
Yeah, that's a very good question because you touch my heart. This is the area where I am working since 1 decade. Because, for example, if you buy a house, the house is not complete without furniture, without interior decorations and everything. Similarly, treating a patient is not complete without touching the softer part of their care. We doctors usually prescribe some medicine or do a surgery. We forget about the rest of the things. But there are so many challenges in the patient. They have some problem related to sleep, they have a problem related to his weakness, their moods is not okay, they are not feeling well, their foods need to be prepared well. So we have addressed this. Now, while addressing this thing, we found the major challenge is the organ crosstalk. When kidney does not work properly, there is a huge impact goes on the heart, goes on the liver, goes on the entire endocrine system. How we can address that? Not every problem has a medical solution. So we ventured in the Mukti program. So Mukti program has evolved from my understanding of the yoga, because I practice yoga since my childhood, and I know what are the impact yoga can impart in a patient who is chronically suffering from this type of chronic lifestyle diseases. So we developed a program which improves the lung function, because kidney and the lung, these are the two most important excretory organ of the body. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening, please try to understand this thing. Whatever water soluble excrete in the body, that is taken care of by the kidney, and what is volatile waste products, that's taken by the lung, and these two organs work in synchrony. So we developed a program called Mukti, where we voluntarily can improve the functionality of the lung. And this is the beauty in our body. Except lung, no other organ has a voluntary control. You cannot control your heart rate by your wish.
Correct.
You cannot control your kidney function. You cannot order your kidney, make some more urine.
Correct.
But you can take a deep breath. So you can increase the function. So henceforth, lung is the most important instrument. By functioning and working on with, we can change the internal physiology in a different way. And this is especially pertinent in the renal failure because both the organ works in synchrony. So we developed Mukti in that line, and it has a tremendous impact in our patients. As of now, roughly 3,000 plus patients are practicing Mukti. They are benefited by control of their blood pressure, their energy level, their sleep quality, their appetite, their overall well-being, their tolerance to the creatinine. A patient who is practicing Mukti can tolerate creatinine up to 8, 9 without need of dialysis. Whereas those who are not practicing this, they need dialysis much more early. So these are the advantage which are imparting through our NephroCare model. Each centers has a Mukti centers, we have a Mukti trainers. Each patients are bound to get this service by our trainers. I take also class personally each month, and it has a tremendous impact. So it is touching life beyond medicine. This gives me enough pleasure and satisfaction when I deal with the patient, not only simply prescribing drugs and surgery, and this adds in new values and new qualities of life in their day-to-day living.
We'll speak about business numbers, and I'll move on to the numbers man, Mr. Tapan Saha, who's the Chief Financial Officer of Nephro Care India Limited. Mr. Saha, you would like to share the details about business operations to our viewers today?
Yes, sure. So I'll just go back in time a little bit. So since inception, when NephroCare started their operation, we were basically running purely dialysis services in third-party hospitals. But subsequently, as per the vision of our MD, Dr. Pratim Gupta, we decided to set up our own holistic clinic covering all aspects of the ecosystem for a dialysis and NephroCare. So in December 2021, we started our first flagship clinic in Salt Lake in Kolkata. So that financial year, we just got revenue for approximately 3 months. But that was a very important turnaround year for us because from third-party hospitals having our own clinic, it has its own advantages as such. So that year we clocked about 3 crore plus revenues. 2023 was a very interesting year for us where we saw a top line grow by nearly 400%. So we closed 2023 with a top line of around 17 CR. And one of the reasons for this was that we were able to operate our flagship clinic for 12 months. We also took our services beyond dialysis. So we added a lot of other peripheral areas of revenue. So as of today, we have the consultations for patients. We have the lab services, which becomes a separate revenue generating center for us. We have the diagnostic setup. We have our in-house pharmacy. Our Mukti program also contributes to the revenue. We have a separate diet section where the nutrition and diet counseling is done, and that also contributes to the services. And every quarter we've been adding services based on the requirement of the patient. So that gave us the huge boost in 2023. If I look at the numbers for the first 9 months, audited figures for 2024 up to December 12, we've surpassed our last year 23 top line in the first 9 months of FY24, and we are standing at close to around 20 CR of top line in 9 months. So that has been again a significant jump. Another very interesting aspect has been that during financial year 23-24, we expanded into other satellite units. So we started another unit. We took over the operation of another unit called dialysis in Salt Lake in Kolkata. But that did not contribute for the entire year revenue. But yeah, it did contribute for around 7 to 8 months of revenue for that year. Our own another clinic has started up operation in the month of March at Chandan Nagar. It's around 50 kilometers from Calcutta. Now that numbers have not been incorporated in the December figures, but that should be coming in the full year figure for 24.
And what are the planned initiatives that we've taken in terms of infrastructure, in terms of growth for the business?
So basically, the original growth plan or the business model was to have our own flagship centers supported by the spokes, the hub and spoke model, wherein the tier 1, tier 2 cities can also have our presence and the patients can come in at our spokes first, and then the critical patient can move on to the main hub. So that plan is already on. If you look at our prospectus also, you will find that our couple of new centers are about to get operational. So we have another unit coming up at Sham Bazaar, Calcutta, very shortly in a couple of months. Our Alipurduar unit, which is the North Bengal unit, extreme north of Bengal, that unit is coming up very shortly. We have plans to open up other centers beyond West Bengal. So in advanced talks to set up centers at Balasa and for that matter even Bombay. One of the challenges that we have faced in that 360-degree care that has been the model so far is that while we were focusing a lot on the OPD segments, we were unable to provide services for IPD services. So if any patient needed hospitalization, that entire revenue was going into third-party hospitals. So we are not being able to complete the circle unless we venture out in that particular area. So if you look at the objective for the IPO, if you see a major part of the funds are being raised for the hospital project. So we've taken up our asset and we have upgrading the same into a 100 bed plus hospital, and mind it is not a nephrology hospital, it is a multi-speciality hospital because we believe we can add a lot of other services in the IPD segment of the business. We strongly believe that in a couple of months this hospital will become operational because we are towards the end of most of this capital work that is in progress. And if you are looking at the projection for 24, 25, I can't put numbers to it, but I can tell you probably this will be the first year where I'll have not only our flagship center contributing 12 months revenue, the second satellite unit which contributed around 6 months to 7 months of revenue will give me revenue for 12 months this year. My third center, which started in March, whose numbers hardly have been captured in last year figures, is going to contribute for me for 12 months. My hospital will probably contribute to the top line for around 7 to 8 months. And the new satellite clinics at Sham Bazaar, Alipurduar, Balasore is something again that will be an add-on revenue for us. So we think it will be a very exciting year for us.
I'll take this opportunity to share the upcoming IPO details. The IPO is for 45 lakhs 84,000 equity shares, which is a fresh issue of rupees 10 each with a price band of 85 to 90. The issue size comes together to about 41.26 crores. It's a book building issue and it opens on Friday 28th June, ends on Tuesday 2nd of July 2024. Let me once again put it across. This video and interaction is by no means an invitation to invest. It's purely on for communication, education and prudent investment decision by all the information seekers and investors out there. Corporate Capital Ventures is their book running lead manager, and we wish the management a very best for the upcoming IPO. And we'll take a couple of more questions and we'll conclude this interaction from here.
So I'll touch a bit of your personal profile, Dr. Saab. As far as I know, you are a very great philanthropic doctor also, and you have changed the life of thousands of your patients, and in the whole process you have become a coder also from a doctor. What is that story and what are you doing for the society? Please let our viewers
That's
know
interesting, Judy, because I've been born in a very small village of the North Bengal and started in the Ramakrishna Mission. So when I started practice and became a doctor, so-called MD, DM, then trained outside of the country, learned in the Karolinska Institute, Boston's, and came back to starting practice here. We had a lot of hats and a lot of feathers in my cap, to starting practice. Egos was very much busted. But the ground reality is, in this country, the basic need of the patient not been analyzed, and accordingly the service model has not been developed. So in NephroCare, we broke all these myths. In NephroCare, we touched all these things. But even though there was some challenge, because there are some needy patients, there are some rich patients, doctors cannot differentiate sitting across the table that this patient is rich, I can deliver this thing, this patient is poor, I cannot deliver this thing. So we formed a foundation called Kidney Care Society. That is a totally CSR funded organization, and we provide absolutely free of cost consultations. We provide very low cost dialysis service, very low cost pathology service for those who are absolutely needy, underprivileged people come to seek our help. But the model of care which I established in NephroCare, that also runs in there, and we run it to the CSR. That's some kind of thing. And the next question is who asks, Dr. Sir, you are a coder. This is a very interesting story. I don't say cheated, but I understood the people who does digital marketing, developing softwares, they under delivers. They takes money from us, they don't do what they're supposed to do. Sorry, not everybody, but I have been faced to this problem for a couple of times. Then I took a challenge. We do the engineering of a human body. What difficulty it is into learning this IT and all this stuff. So I did some special courses. I learned some languages and I started to do my own coding and developing softwares. Currently the software I use, not totally, but a part of that is developed by me because of the lack of time. I invited some people who work with me. The entire idea, architecture, design and everything is done by me, and those guys work for me. Some simple coding, which is a very boring and laborious job. You need to sit in the computer and type all through. So the architecture is designed by me, and that things has been done, and I'm so satisfied because I understand the language of computer and also the language of a human body, and through my IT infrastructure, I'm connecting the human physiology in the computer language. Henceforth, the scalability of our entire business model depends on this IT backbone. All the centers are connected in a single button call. Tapas has a great help. He helped me to develop the financial understanding. We are incorporating all those things in this single platform so that sitting somewhere, I can monitor what's going on, be in the clinical front and be in the business front. And that is possible because my understanding of IT, computer language, and also as a doctor, this is my primary role, this is my core area. I understand the way of the human healthcare to be delivered through the digital mode. So these two combined us. Today we are seeing digital prescription after COVID. I started prescribing digitally since 2011. So I have a 25,000 patient database, which is a huge mine for the artificial engineering, artificial intelligence and the machine learning and the large database training, which I am doing right now. It's a great thing. I believe within 1 or 2 years, we can help it in a bigger way to the humanities.
A lot of PR that has happened around this IPO. We also came across names of certain marquee investors who've also participated in this. Dr. Saab, would like to know how you were able to reach out to those marquee investors and have them on the cap table.
So it is not that I reached out. It is that they reached me out as a doctor. And when they understood that, okay, because, I treated a lot of people across the country. So you name a person, you name industry, you name somebody, there will be somebody whom I treated. So in that way, I got a huge network of the peoples. And when I came out the idea of IPO, I did not knew that Mr. Parekh will come and help us. Pratima, I'll help you to do this. So like this way, a lot of people who are really financial giants, I did not know their background. As a doctor, I treated them. And when I treat a person, I don't look at who is he, because it is a connect of the life with the doctors to a person, and that connection build a relationship. And they jolly well came and helped us to guide us. They invested in our program. They saw the future. They loved me. Henceforth, they understood the business very well. So that's the reason they have came to take part in this journey in the PIP round. They took part, and we are going ahead. That's it.
Perfect. So you have veterans of capital market in your cap table, including Mr. Deepak Parekh, Mr. Bharat Shah, Mr. Rajendra Agrawal, and lot many. What is your vision for NephroCare India going forward, post listing, you will be one very specific company which is from a very specialized sector, which is listed and visible to lot of people. So what is your vision for NephroCare India going forward?
So my vision is very clear. Whether I get listed or not unlisted, that doesn't matter. My vision is to touch at least 1 crore CKD patients' life with the knowledge I have, with the technology I've developed, with the service model I've developed. Now this listing, funding by the equity, these are all add-ons. My core area is very simple. I'm a doctor, I need to treat a patients. I am a very unique digital understandable person who can transform the need of a patient in the digitally. I understand the pains, I have developed some solution for that pains. And eventually it is growing. The point is, if you have something to offer to a person, the business follows. I never thought 6 months ago that suddenly IPO will come. I'll meet with KP, I'll meet with Navin, I'll meet with all these big giants. We don't understand numbers, we don't understand finance, but I understand life. I understand how to make somebody's life, and everything you do surrounding your vicinity, be it business, be it whatever. The most important part is the life, which we take care of. And as we are doing it well, henceforth business is following us. That's it. So my vision is, after this IPO, it is a genuine boost for me for the scalability. With the fund, a lot of people, I'm thankful those who are taking part in this IPO. Their fund which is coming, I'm an instrument to utilize it for the human welfare. I'm going to scale up my service to the multiple areas of the country, touch at least 1 crore people's life who are suffering from this deadly disease.
So one way you are building a business, other part of it is that you are saving lots of lives, and by doing all this you will end up earning a lot for the investors also. With this, I think we have had enough of information, knowledge, data from Dr. Saab, and again, as Navin has advised quite a few times, it is not a invitation, it is not any advice to subscribe to the IPO. People who are seeing us, they have to take their own call and they have to take decision as per their discretion, and we'll be concluding this interaction soon.
So, a kidney expert with a golden heart and a technological brain, a doctor with a magnanimous vision, trust of marquee investors. I believe it will culminate into the trust of a lot of investors when we come around with an IPO, which is opening on 28th of June, and ending on 2nd of July. With this, we conclude this interaction brought to you by Corporate Capital Ventures. Look forward to great participation from all the investors. Of course, this is an educational video and in no means an invitation to subscribe. This is Navin Tekwani signing off with a promise to come again with yet another exciting presentation from Corporate Capital Ventures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.